Hey guys, it is not a Sunday, January 11th. We're a few days in 2026 and have some good news, something to celebrate. This is one of my favorite spots to come for a walk. It is near the Leie River, but in Dutch we say Leie. That fish has a bump on his head. But look at that gorgeous view. So my hometown of Kent, which is around there somewhere, is actually built on the crossroads between this river, the Leie, and Scheldt. Now usually I come here in the summer, spring, and then there's all these boats on the water and whatnot. But now it's the middle of winter, or the start of winter actually. So no boats. There's some really big, beautiful houses here. Understandable. Let's look at this view. I've always said that if I ever should get enough money to buy a big house, which it's not likely, especially in this day and age, but I would not go for the biggest house, the fanciest house. I would go for a nice house with a beautiful view, because I love a good view. And around these parts it would be nice, although I think they're overvalued a little bit. Now, talking about success and whatnot, I actually achieved a pretty big goal this week. I had hoped to reach it before New Year's, but doesn't matter, we're just a few days late. I made it to 50,000 subscribers on the Omnic post YouTube, which might not sound like a lot if you're a bigger creator with 500,000, 600,000, a million, 2 million. But for me, that is a big step. When I reach a goal like this, I always think of a comment a friend of mine once made, a good friend. In the beginning, when I started with the Omnic post, he always said, when I reached like 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, you gotta imagine inviting 10,000 people to your house, or to one place, what that would look like. And if you think about all that in that realistic sense, basically, how many people there actually are, it is kind of insane. 50,000 is a big number. You can fill a whole stadium with that. I don't think there would be 50,000 people that would pay to watch anything I do in the stadium, but it's basically the result of all the hard work, but also the support I've been getting from a lot of people. And it's the beginning. I mean, next up is 100,000. I think this is a World War I or II memorial. I can't read it. Look at that. That looks like an old boat. There used to be a lot of those on this river. It does have a mast. I think it is a house now. Yeah, I think these are the types of ships they used for goods transport on this river for decades, centuries even. In the distance you can see all the big houses, the castles. In between is a bird reserve. As you can see right there, I think those are all crows. Is that a crow of crows? Is that what they call it? They're not crows, they're water birds. I think in Dutch we call them fut. You guys can probably not see it because the camera doesn't zoom that far, but there's like this old spooky mansion in the distance. This looks like a little fairy tale house, like you would see in the Efteling. this is my favorite of all houses. That's the skeleton of an ostrich playing the piano. The local band that actually used that for the cover of their album. And they got a lot of bigger bands are being jealous about that because they wanted that. It is pretty well known. It has a bit of a spooky feel, but it got modernized. I myself always fantasized to have like a B&B kind of murder mystery or spooky, where you'd be visiting in houses like that look really old, that have history, and go through a whole experience for a weekend. Not something that we're planning to do because, you know, people dealing with guests would get on our nerves, most definitely. But just the idea. And a house like that would be a perfect candidate. Although it used to look a little darker, they kind of spruced it up with more lively colors than it used to be. People just leave their boat out for winter. Yeah, 50,000 subscribers on the Omnic post. I'm going to be doing a giveaway to celebrate that. Not the type of giveaway of follow me and you can take part, because I don't want new people on my channel if they're not there for the content. I used to do that back in the day, but I don't think that works. You need to convince people to subscribe by making great content. And that's what I plan to keep doing. So yeah, you'll probably see that pop up. I'll keep you guys, I'll post a message. And then on this channel, because I really want to grow this channel too. Like I've said, this is my favorite thing to do. I'm also planning to do a giveaway, but I need to think about how I'm going to approach that. There's a lot of these small houses in here. Just, you know, normal sized, small. Which tells a story, you know? Some old boats. I think the prices are just over the top when you want to buy here. But the fact that all these old houses are here tells you that it didn't always used to be that way. Can you imagine the family stories on boats like this? That's one of the reasons why I love making these videos, is to kind of dive in to the past and telling stories, looking at stories, trying to figure out the stories. It's not about me putting myself front and center. I generally don't like to do that. I do it because it's part of the deal, but it's about the stories. All these places and all these houses have been here way longer than I have. I like telling their stories. Look at that big house. As a kid, I was in the Scouts, I told this before, and we often used to go to castles and whatnot to stay for a week, camps, you know. And I was always so interested in the story, the history. That's why I love going to places like Greece, because all those places I visited, and I will be visiting in the future, were all put in place by people that have been dead for literally thousands of years. But they all had their stories, just like me. They had their struggles. They had their challenges. And if you look really closely, you can still see those. This is, I don't know what to call it in English. Watergate, I guess. To separate these little canals that are kind of catch all the excess water, separated from this river that is right here. But you can tell that this has been here for a long time. Still being used though. All greased up. In case you're interested, this is what it's called. This bird reserve. The Ossels. That is the bridge that I was walking under at the start of the video, we did a pretty good walk. There's one more thing I want to show you guys. Yeah, I want to grow this channel to tell these stories, talk to you guys. The people that watch these videos are a select group. Feels more personal. And I don't know, I feel like I can share this with you guys. You guys would be interested in this. I think there's more people out there. One day, this is just going to become my focus. Sooner or later. I mean, I can't keep talking about Overwatch for the rest of my life. I have a discussion going on there between the ducks. Look at that house. Like I said, history. So much history. I'll not be talking the rest of my life about Overwatch, but definitely for the next few years. I think 2026 is going to be interesting. Now, as my goal for the Omnic post towards the end of 2026, well, up till now I've almost been doubling my subscribers every year, year over year. So I guess somewhere in January 2027, I'm hoping to hit 100,000, which is going to be even crazier. That's 2 stadiums of people. Almost at the end of the walk. It's hard to explain. It's a really beautiful spot, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see the main attraction of that place. If not, I'll explain afterwards. But again, it kind of ties into history in a very charming way. We'll see. Look at these geese. I don't know if you ever saw the cartoon Niels Ferguson. You basically had these brown geese and there was one white one in there. There was this little kid that rode on the back of the white geese, a goose. And right there, all brown geese and then one white one. That is so funny. That's literally the story of that cartoon. So that was what I was talking about. So this is this little pond that goes back and forth over the river. That village is called Afsne. Beautiful church. And right there is a bar. And that guy with the hat basically lives or works in that little place you see, a little stall, waiting for people wanting to transfer, to kind of move over. There's a bell right there that you need to ring. And they'll come to this side of the river, pick you up, and bring you to the other side, and the other way around. And in summer, there's like all these chairs out on the bar, and he's just drinking some beers. There's several people that do this. Now, until this summer, they used to move the pond with a stick. But I just noticed that they have like a little motor in the middle now that they use. Back in the day, that was not the case. They just used a big pole to move it forward and back. But that must have been going on here for a few hundred years now, passing on from one generation to the next. I mean, how many of these little boats did they have in the last few hundred years? But that little place has been here for the longest time. And it is, for the next few miles, the only way to get on the other side of the river on foot. Like that bridge we passed is basically a train bridge, so this is where you cross the river into Afsne. I'm kind of sad that they don't do it with a pole anymore. With all due respect for the people that have to do it, it's easily said when you're sitting on a bench talking about it, but yeah. And those are the stories I want to tell. Those are the places I want to show. It's the first time I'm here in winter. It's nice. It's summer, it's a little better. A little warmer. Although in Belgium, that's debatable. Alright, it's getting really dark. I need to get back to my car. Edit this video. So you guys can watch it. You know what? This summer we're going to take it a little pond to the other side. I want to show you guys the church because it's beautiful. It's one of those classic churches where you still have the graveyard right around it. And that way you get to see this place in summer. Alright. We gotta walk all the way back there. That's where my car is parked. But it was a nice walk. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye. I'm being followed, guys. Help. I did some more research on the cross that we saw earlier on the path. And it turns out it's actually for a pastor that died in the 1880s. Or in 1880 actually, specifically. And it's pointing towards this abbey. So the cross is around there, I guess. Facing this. So it had nothing to do with the First or Second World War. It was for a pastor. And right there is another white goose who is not pleased that I'm here. So time to move. Although I know he's being fed by the locals, so he might expect some food if I stick around any longer, which I'm not planning to do. Bye bye, goose.